On Sunday night, May 3rd, 1868, the feast of St. Joseph's patronage, Don Bosco resumed the narration of his dreams. I have another dream to tell you, a sort of aftermath of those I told you last Thursday and Friday, which totally exhausted me. Call them dreams or whatever you like, always. As you know, on the night of April 17th, a frightful toad seems bent on devouring me. When it finally vanished, a voice said to me, "Why don't you tell them?" I turned in that direction and saw a distinguished person standing by my bed. Feeling guilty about my silence, I asked, "What should I tell my boys?" "What have you seen and heard in your last dreams, and what you have wanted to know, and shall have revealed to you tomorrow night." And then he vanished. I spent the whole next day worrying about my miserable night in store for me, and when the evening came, loath to go to bed, I sat at my desk browsing through books until midnight. The mere thought of having more nightmares thoroughly scared me. However, with great effort, I finally went to bed. "Get up and follow me," he said. "For heaven's sake," I protested, "leave me alone. I'm exhausted. I've been tormented by a toothache for several days now and need rest. Besides, nightmares have completely worn me out." I said this because the man's apparition always meant trouble, fatigue, and terror for me. "Get up," he repeated. "You have no time to lose." I complied and followed him. "Where are you taking me?" I asked. "Never mind, you'll see." He led me to a vast, boundless plain, veritably a lifeless desert, not a soul in sight or a tree or brook. Yellowed, dried-up vegetation added to the desolation. I had no idea where I was and what I was to do. For a moment I lost sight of my God, and I feared that I was lost, utterly alone. Father Rua, Father Francisca, nowhere to be seen. When I finally saw my friend coming towards me, I sighed in relief. "Where am I?" I asked. "Come with me, and you will find out." "All right, I'll go with you." He led the way, and I followed in silence, but after a long, dismal trudge, I began worrying whether I would ever be able to cross that vast expanse with my toothache and swollen legs. Suddenly, I saw a road ahead. "Where to now?" I asked my guide. "This way," he replied. We took the road. It was beautiful, wide, and neatly paved. The way of sinners is made plain with stones, and in their end is hell, and darkness, and pains. From Ecclesiastes 21:11, stones broad and easy. Both sides were lined with magnificent verdant hedges, dotted with gorgeous flowers. Roses especially peeped everywhere through the leaves. At first glance the road was level and comfortable, and so I ventured upon it without the least suspicion, but soon I noticed it insensibly kept sloping downward. Though it did not look steep at all, I found myself moving so swiftly that I felt I was effortlessly gliding through the air. Really, I was gliding and hardly using my feet. Then the thought struck me that the return trip would be very long and arduous. "How shall I get back to the oratory?" I asked worriedly. "Do not worry," he answered. "The Almighty wants you to go. He who leads you on will know how to lead you back." The road is sloping downward. As we were continuing on our way, flanked by the banks of roses and other flowers, I became aware that the oratory boys and very many others whom I did not know were following me. Somehow I found myself in their midst, and I was looking at them. I noticed now one, now another, fall into the ground and instantly be dragged by an unseen force into frightful drop, distantly visible, which sloped into a furnace. "What makes these boys fall?" I asked my companion. "The proud have hidden a net for me, and they have stretched cords for a snare. They have laid for me a stumbling block by the wayside." From Psalms 139:6. "Take a closer look," he replied. I did. Traps were everywhere, some close to the ground, others at eye level, but all well concealed. Unaware of their danger, many boys got caught, and they tripped, and they would sprawl to the ground, legs in the air. Then, when they managed to get back on their feet, they would run headlong down the road toward the abyss. Some got trapped by the head, others by the neck, hand, arms, legs, or sides, and were pulled down instantly. The ground traps, fine as spiders' webs and hardly visible, seemed very flimsy and harmless, yet to my surprise, every boy they snared fell to the ground.